All right. A good morning, afternoon, evening. I am here with Dr. Michele McDowell, and this is going to be off the charts. You are going to love this one. Believe me, you are. Please, Dr. Michele, introduce yourself.
Oh, Kemi, your intros are so wonderful. I just want to listen for the intros. I want a series of intros. They're always great. Oh, thank you for inviting me today. I was just explaining for anybody that sees, thinks, why do you got this blanket on? I'm in England at the moment and it is a minus. It's -6 here at the moment. So I am cold. Yeah, quilting weather, quilting weather.
Oh,
So thank you for inviting me today as part of Sister Hold My Hand.
yes,
I'm glad to be holding your hand, my sister.
yes,
So
yes.
I'm Dr. Michele McDowell. I'm an educational and child psychologist. I have been so for over 20 years now. I can't believe that. Every time I say it, I'm like, wow.
Wow.
And even then, it wasn't my first career. I was a teacher
Okay,
before then,
okay.
and then became an education and child psychologist. I work with parents. I love working with parents and supporting them with all aspects of parenting
Okay.
and being really being. So overwhelm, stress, anxiety, all of those things I support parents with. I work with young people, children, around areas of development and supporting schools with advising them how to best support children, particularly who've got additional special educational needs.
Mm, mm,
So that's me in a nutshell. I work with a range of professionals. I've done
okay.
court-based work. I work in media sometimes, and I just love being a psychologist and
Mm.
supporting. So yeah, thank you for inviting me on today. Can't
I
wait.
love what you love. I love what you love. Well done. Well done. Well, as some of you know, and maybe you don't, I am Kemi Oyesola, and I'm the founder and CEO of How to Think Global Solutions. Yes, I teach people how to think so that you can live a life you are proud to own. You don't have to like, I don't. No, 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 no. That's not what you were created for. You were created to live a life you're proud to own. So let's jump into it. So today's title is, and there's so many titles, so forgive me, I've got to read it, is The Influence of Thoughts on Decision Making. When I saw the title, because I wrote a few and then I sent it into ChatGPT, give me some more and bolster it up and make it look like my voice. And it gave me all these wonderful titles. But this one, ChatGPT, well done. Okay, I
Oh,
know you
Lord.
can't hear me, but it's okay.
That was it to talk about today, actually.
Oh, really? So, the influence of thoughts on decision making. Now, if you've been listening to our episodes, you've been on LinkedIn Live, that's Sister Hold My Hand, and you've been reading our blogs, you will see all I do is talk about how you think from all kinds of perspectives. And the aim is to ensure that you're a strong person. Now, I call your thoughts the control room. That's where maintenance for your life happens, and you are in charge of the control room. You maintain it because no one can choose what you think and inject it into your mind, brain, whatever. You are responsible. A thought rises within you, not outside of you. A thought rises within you. So something might trigger it, or something, you might see something, some food, and you just remember when you had this. And yeah, that's your thought. It's not, so you cannot think for someone else. You can only think for yourself, and your thoughts cannot affect someone else in terms of their becoming or their being. For as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. So you are what you think. People say you are what you eat. I don't believe that. I believe before you eat, you've got to think about it, then go buy it, get it, cook it, then eat it. So you're what you think. So I want that to really see. Let it go in. Let it go in. Remember. It means
But
you've
you
got
know
to
what I think is so
go,
important about what you're
go ahead.
saying? Very, it's not about the environment, but it is. And I'm really interested in how you got there, because I think your parental influences
Mm,
really impact on the confidence. I mean, you exude it. And sometimes it's developed as you grow, and sometimes it's put upon us, isn't it? That you
yeah.
got to a point in your life where you think, actually, I need to expand this confidence and develop my thinking and do what you do. But I find I'm sure people say this to you all the time. You're such a powerful expression
Wow.
of thinking and you know how important the mind is. You know, you yourself should have been a psychologist, I think. You know, you celebrate it, you really do. But I'm really interested in thinking about where that came from, you know, in terms of your home, you know, family environment and parenting. Was that something that you grew up with, or is it something that just developed elsewhere?
This came to me in 2006. Go and teach my people how to think. That's what I heard God say. But I grew up with great parents, and my dad's gone over 20 years ago, but my mom's still alive. She's 93. She'll be 94 this year, and
Oh,
I
wow.
live in Nigeria now, looking after her with my eldest brother.
Oh,
She is still a powerhouse.
no, that's a
And
surprise.
she is, she has had 4 strokes, but she still walks, she still feeds herself, the only thing
Yeah.
she's refused to do is really talk like she used to. But when I look back, I remember nothing stopped her. She
Hmm.
was doing this, doing that, doing this. I never knew I was learning
Yeah.
from it. I just thought this is how I am. So it's
Yeah.
you're asking this question now that's
Yeah.
got me like, that's true.
Hmm.
But I've always been active. I love acting. So I hope I get to act somewhere, sometime. Um, s- uh, but I think that's where I got it from.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
osmosis kind of
Yeah.
thing, not like
Yeah,
sitting
well,
down
it's
at her
often,
feet.
isn't it, that our what we learn is through modeling. You know,
Yeah.
what our parents model. So, you
Mm,
know, when I'm working with parents and they're often saying to me, you know, what should I tell them? You know, what should I say? What should I say it's what you're doing that they're going to see most. You know, as you know, I talk quite a lot about screen time, gaming, and young people. And, you know, parents seek advice from me about that. And I'm often saying to them, what we do with this is
mm,
what our children will then, you
mm,
know. And it's a struggle. It's a struggle for us when we are working for ourselves and we use technology as part of our work as well. So it's here
mm,
always on it, you know, for
mm,
those people. So it's really interesting that you are focusing on the thoughts that we are thinking, how thoughts generate our decision making. But the beginnings from of that is how it's modeled to us at home, I think. You know,
yes,
with that
yes,
model, how is the critical thinking modeled? Because we can all have thoughts. That's why I was like, when you said ChatGPT, obviously all, you know, it's being used everywhere now, isn't it? In
yeah,
school, home, in every work
yeah.
aspect. But it's really about, are we still applying our own critical thinking? Because my
Mm,
fear is, where's our brain going to go?
mm,
Our own decision making going to go
mm.
if we are, all right, I'll just go use AI for this and AI for that. And it is an amazing tool. But what happens to our critical thinking, Kemi?
That was the exact thought I had today because I wrote
Hey,
a post on LinkedIn and it was too long. So he said I'd gone over by 97 characters. So I said, okay, I'll put it into ChatGPT, just edit for me, leave it in my voice. I don't
yeah,
want you to change anything. And it shortened it. I wanted it to be succinct. I said that. So I said, make it succinct. And as soon as it did it, I read it. I said, I like it. It summarized everything I
yeah,
said. But I said, I'm not thinking. That is exactly
yeah,
what I said today.
yeah,
I said, I'm
yeah,
not thinking. Why am I not? No, this is wrong. I
yeah,
want to think. So from today, I decided, well, and I still prefer what I write.
yeah. And not only that, Kemi, but what you write comes from you organically. And
Exactly.
now you've fed AI as well. So there were going to be billions of people using your
Using
thinking.
my stuff. I didn't even think of that. So every time we give it something, it adds it to its
It
whatever and
does,
it
it
feeds it.
does.
Oh God, I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
realize that. I
yeah.
don't need it. Because when it came out, I didn't like it. I
Yeah,
thought,
yeah.
man made this, God didn't, so you're fallible. You're going to fail somewhere. So.
Yeah.
I'm not
I mean,
interested.
we're all going to work with it, but I think your point today about the thought that comes before the decision making,
Yes,
because if we are thinking about, okay, I'm going to use ChatGPT, for example, what's the thinking that goes behind that, and making
exactly.
sure that we still hold back part of ourselves. So even though we may
Exactly.
use it as the frame, as the skeleton, do we take that back so we mold it ourselves? So it's still got
Exactly.
our personal human signature, you
Yeah,
know?
I think it's good. As I'm doing my PhD, I can see it's good for academic writing because I don't use
Ah,
all those
you're doing
academic
it.
I don't tend not to use that jargon, but people who grew up in here,
Yeah,
and that's how they speak. So it's good.
yeah.
So I'm learning to write that way. So I write, and if I'm not too sure about the paragraph, I put it in ChatGPT. If he's not saying what I'm saying, I take my stuff
Yeah,
back
yeah,
and I
yeah,
use it. But I think it will come in handy. But I think it's going to deaden brains. It's going to
definitely.
deaden the ability to think and make a decision. You're
Yeah,
going to, and one must be careful of that. I think we need to start talking about, I'm going to talk about it. I think you should talk about it because it
yeah,
only came to me this afternoon when
yeah,
I put it in and I thought, wait a minute, it is doing all this work for me.
yeah,
I want
yeah,
to think. I don't want that taken because if you don't use your thinking capacity, it's going to
yeah.
get dull,
Absolutely.
and
And
that's so wrong.
especially you spent a lifetime, we have, fine-tuning your thinking. No one else thinks like Kemi.
Yeah.
No one,
Yeah.
you know.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
so you spent years, years fine-tuning that,
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
become the wonderful speaker that you are,
Yeah.
and mentor and supporter that you are.
Oh gosh.
Then,
Thank you.
So
Thank
you've
you.
done all of that. So really, we want to keep that, don't you? You want to keep your critical thinking, not let it go by reverting to.
Yeah.
So it's really about getting the balance, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we have these tools, and I speak to parents all the time about, technology, and they say, well, should I take my child off it? Should I say to them, actually, no? I'm like, no, because they have to learn how to navigate
Yeah. The
technology,
world they're in now.
how
Yeah.
to develop their thinking and their
Yeah.
decision making around
Yeah.
technology.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, some of the clients I have now are university based.
Hmm.
And why are they university based, Kemi? Because they have been sort of so mollycoddled really around their management of technology. By the time they get to being at university and having to self-regulate and self-manage, they're struggling because they haven't got the parents saying to them all the time now. So really what we want to do is build that skill that you can say, actually, I've enjoyed it, it's enough now. I'm now going to start my assignment. So it's really important that we're building that thinking as
Yeah.
well
Yeah.
as we go.
Yeah. And that in itself starts with the thoughts. When people say, "Oh, I need somebody. I can't go jogging without a friend. I can't run. I can't go to the gym without a friend." I said, "Then you're not ready to go to the gym. It's not the friend. It's you.
Mhm.
It's what
Yeah.
you're thinking. It has nothing to do with whether you have a friend or not. Because ain't nobody going to make you do nothing you don't want to do. Forgive the language, but ain't nobody going to get you to do nothing you don't want to do. And when you want to do it, it's a thought that leads to, yes, I'm going to do it now. But thank you for letting us digress because we're going to go right back. We don't think we digress. We still stayed on kind of topic, but I think that was important. Thank you so much, Dr. Michelle. And ladies and gentlemen, don't you just love her smile? I couldn't smile like this if I practiced. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get back to so I'm looking at the camera, but I keep seeing this smile.
Oh, thank you. So I didn't realize I'm doing it now, honestly.
Well, thank you for that beautiful smile. So, the influence of thoughts on decision making. Let's look, like I always say, at the meaning of the word. Now, I always encourage you to go into the etymology because the etymology will tell you the root. Sometimes the words we use today they come from either Latin, Indo, Proto-Indo, English, I think PIE, and Old French. So it changes over the centuries because English came from those and from Greek came from those other languages. So the Google dictionary, I won't go into the etymology, but it feels interesting to go into it today. Well, let's go. The capacity to have an effect on the character, that's what influence means, the capacity to have an effect on the character, development, or behavior of someone or something, or the effect itself. The effect is
Mhm.
influence. So it's the capacity to have an effect on the character development or behavior of someone or something, or the effect itself. So we're looking at the capacity to have an effect on the character development or behavior of thoughts on decision making. The influence of thoughts on, so is the influence on decision making of your thoughts. So if you're going to make a decision, do you see how vital, how critical it is that you're thinking right? Because the decision you're going to make is a function of the thoughts that you entertain. It's not Dr. Michelle's fault and Kemi's fault. And you paid for that coaching service and it didn't work. That's for babies. And I wrote in Facebook today, any adult who wants to take baby steps in this life is not ready for life. You can't be an adult and say, I'm just going to take baby steps. What does that mean? Do you know what baby steps look like? Do you know how tall babies are? You're taller than that. You don't have time for that. There is no time for baby steps. Baby steps is an expression called excuses. Is an expression called fear. Okay, let's go back. All right. So the influence of thoughts on decision making. And decision making is critical because it means I'm going to go this way, or I'm going to go this way. Depending on what I'm thinking, I'm going to choose whether I go left or right. We did something about decide, decision, and I told you it comes from the etymology of decide it comes from the word to die. So you have suicide, decide. The side part, CIDE, means to die. So it means the death of everything else, and then I'm going to do this. So it's not, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. You are not indecisive. It's, I'm doing this. But if you are thinking right, you tend to make the right decision fearlessly. Fearlessly. So what is the influence of thoughts on decision making? Your thinking must be right. Listen, I know I lived in the UK for 32 years. I just came back here to Nigeria, where I'm speaking from. Listen, guys, it's an excuse. It's an excuse. Let me say it one more time. It's an excuse when you say, but that person came, their influence is so strong. You have a strong character. When you came in, I didn't know what I was doing. You are not a zombie and you're not a puppet. Gone are the days when I'm trying to be politically correct. I'm trying to say it nicely so you won't be upset. Because what I'm doing then is I'm allowing you've come into my space, a bit rubbery, flabby, flaky, flaccid, and I'm letting you go back out of my presence with a bit of the flaky, no, it's not acceptable. It's not acceptable. It's not acceptable.
That would never be acceptable. No.
It's not. The first person that should say no is you. Say no to yourself. Don't wait for someone to say no to you. Say no, I'm not doing this. No, I'm not flabby, flaccid, flaky. No, this is not who I am. Look, I'm a soldier. I'm a force. I'm a force to be reckoned with. Because when push comes to shove and SHIT hits the fan and there's an earthquake and people need you, we don't need the flabby you. But if you've not been practicing that kind of strong right thinking, the thinking that can build an edifice, then when the tough times come, you have not practiced. Because we have problems because there are solutions. And the practice is in seeking the solution, not going on for a meltdown over, you know what happened to me? It happened to my great-great-grandmother, my mother now, at my age. It's happening. Oh, God. I feel for you, but that's about it. Wake up. You're not attractive when you are weak and flabby. I know. It's one of the reasons when Dr. Michele asked me, oh, how did you get like this? I hate being weak. I've been weak for years. I can't stand it. And I remember I would cry at the drop of a pin. I used to say, I wear my heart on my sleeves. You'll never know, be in the dark about how Kemi's feeling. She would tell you, you see. I used to think that was a badge and I wore it. Oh,
what influenced that, Kemi? What influenced that then?
I'll tell you, this was it. I would cry. And when I finished crying, this situation was still the same. Situation was still the same. And what I wanted was, is this part of post-it notes, I want it to move here. That's the solution. But it is still here when I finish, because I'm crying because I think the tears will be the solution. And somebody will come in and say, oh, Kemi, Kemi, I'll move it for you. Nobody came. And when they came, they say, oh, there. And when they call there, and I'm a Christian, so they pray, they'll do all that, and they will go home. You have to get that right. I want you to hear that well. They will go home, but I'll still be stuck with the same way I'm thinking. And I could not understand. I said something should have changed by now, till I realized nobody's going to think for you. You're going to need to move your body, move your hands, get yourself up, sit up, straighten your neck. Till today, I still say that. I wanted to eat, and I know I should
point for
now.
you then.
Yeah, go ahead.
There was a critical point that you got to that you then said, actually, here's a line. And once I step over that, that's it. That was your decision point. Is that right?
Yeah. But I still do it every day, because there are things I want to do, I know I should not do. And I have to slow down. Slowing down is a great help. Slow down.
Yeah.
I talk out loud. Kemi, you can't do that right now. But I find that when I'm going in the process, I'm on my own, and I'm going through the process, I want to eat now, I want to go down and just get a slice of bread. You are not eating bread, Kemi. You are not eating bread. No, you are not eating bread. But the thoughts still go, no. You are not just one slice. No, you're not eating bread.
So are you talking out loud?
I'm talking out loud. I'm talking out loud. I don't talk out loud at the beginning. I talk out loud after I've been thinking about it for a long time. A long time is 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, maybe even half hour. Because I won't move. But by that time, I now get up, I go downstairs like I did today. And what did I go get? I said, there's soup. I can have soup. So I got soup, not bread. Because I didn't remember about the soup. But when I got and I opened the fridge, soup, Kemi, soup. Take soup. You're allowed to have soup. Take soup, not too much, just take soup. You're right, because I was having hunger pangs, and I said, okay, and that was the end of the thought. You are in control of what you think. Please, we all grew up thinking we're victims. Oh gosh, look at my life. Oh, this made me. And when you're an adult and you're saying somebody made you, 5-year-olds say that. And even at 5, we are saying, well, like I have okay, he's no longer the youngest, but the second to youngest grandchild, I have my grandson. He's 4. He will be 5 in February. And at 4, at 3, he will say, no, I don't want to do that. No, Granny. He is 13. How do you now become 28 years old, 35, 40, 50, 60, and you're
like, okay,
it's not an excuse. None. So your decision making, which you must make a decision, is influenced by what you think, how you think, and your thoughts are influenced by what you see, you hear, because your thoughts determine your beliefs. So I'm not talking about become born again, become a Christian, become Muslim, whatever you want to become. All I know is that God created us. And listen close to this. Since we were created in his image and after his likeness, you are exactly like him. You are born to win. You are not born a loser.
Absolutely.
You're not born some weak. It's not because you go to church or you don't go to church. It's by virtue of who you are. I wrote something on Facebook today. If you do not know who you are, you will not know what you are capable of doing. And many of us do not know we are powerful.
You need your depth. Yep.
We don't know how powerful we are. The lion does, because it knows it's a lion. You are human, superior to a lion, and you see it and you run. I'm not saying don't run, you can run, but I keep practicing every day. I do it with dogs. I look at them, they look at me. I say, if you come near me, it's your death. Like, I'm going to wipe you out. I am not your mate. I will do. If you come to bite me, that's because I know some of you listening might be dog lovers. I'm not killing dogs, but if it's going to hurt me, I'm not going to stand there and I'm not running. I'm superior. I want you to remember you are superior. You are superior. If a bird is building a nest somewhere, it looks around and maybe it builds one at your windowsill at your, your bedroom window. It's watching. It's watching.
Mm-hmm.
So there,
Mm-hmm.
some form of thought is there. They know some instinct. So decide the kind of thoughts you will entertain. So remember what happened to Eve when she started having a conversation with the serpent. Look at where she ended up. Don't converse with people you should not converse with. It doesn't matter that they're your best friend, they're the closest people to you, they mean well.
It's the environment. Yep, yep.
Where are they
Because
going?
it's
Is it your
saying, isn't it?
path?
Show you your friends.
Yeah. Is
Mm-hmm.
it your path? So don't get emotional about it.
Yeah.
Emotions are good. God created them, but you don't live by them. You
Mm.
control them. You become intelligent about them. You do
Mm-hmm.
not let them just take you on a ride. I am highly emotional. And when I say people don't believe me, no, we don't see this strength. Well, when I get married and you see how I am with my spouse, then you will know how emotional I am. But I am. But because I am not married, I have to put it under. I have to be in control. I have to be. And for me, it's not a struggle because watch your words. It is something I need to pay attention to when it rises. And oh God, Lord, I wish there was somebody I could just talk to. Chill. And this is how I deal with that. I just move on to something else in my thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
I don't cover it up like, oh, it's not there. Oh, it's there. I acknowledge it. I say, God, here you go. And then what next do I need to do? And because I get really excited about the work I do, everything I do, I'm excited about. I don't do what I don't that doesn't excite me. I don't see why anybody does that. If it doesn't excite me, I'm not going to thrive and I'm not going to do the best. So if it's not exciting, leave me alone.
You're not doing it.
I'm not doing
What's
it.
your PhD? Because you're doing your PhD at the
Oh
moment.
yeah. My PhD is on how what is known about the career success of Black executive women.
Oh.
Yeah, because you don't find
What
that.
is
You always,
known?
pardon me.
What is known about
What
it?
is known. Yeah, that's
Uh-huh.
just for the literature review. So it's going to be
Yeah.
slightly tweaked when I go into the field. But for now, what's known about it? Not much. Because we don't talk
Mm.
about Black women and their career success. We talk about the barriers, the discrimination, the slavery, the blah, 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 and the race, and ethnicity, and we need to stop that. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You're stronger than you think. So the
Yeah. Yeah.
influence of thoughts on decision making is something that you shouldn't negotiate on. Don't sit at the
Mm-hmm.
negotiating table when it comes to what you think about. People are not going to agree. Because what I teach, I get a lot of no, Kemi, because people prefer to stay in their weakness than in
Comfort zone.
strength. Yes, because it's a new
Okay.
place. They're not used to. They're not too sure if this will work. I don't mind. Before I used to mind, and I'll keep mute. But now, oh, wait, my voice is everywhere, and it's loud.
Your voice is there.
So that's me done. Do you want to add
It's
anything to this?
influential. It's
Yes.
influential.
Oh,
That's what
thank
your voice
God.
is.
I love that. So that's me done. Over to you, Dr. Michelle. Do you have a question?
I
Do you want to
can't
add
wait.
anything? Do you have a question? Do you want
Well,
to
I was
add
just saying,
anything?
I can't wait to. Okay, I was just saying that I can't wait to listen to or read your PhD actually, because it's very much about resilience, isn't it?
Yeah.
And what builds that. So, what influences that decision making, that women will then stand up and really try to push through the ceiling, you know,
Exactly.
what allows them to think, actually, I have it within me. I have it within me to push through the ceiling.
Yeah.
And obviously, I'm fascinated about what allows them to be able to do that. Is there, like you had, a line where they then decide that they're going to cross? Is it the environment that they've grown up in? Is it their parents? Is it the family around them? Is it despite the family that they're doing that? So it will be really interesting to read that,
Yeah. It's resilience,
looking at, what builds
self-efficacy.
success.
Yeah, resilience, self-efficacy.
Mhm.
Um, I'm looking at it from a cognitive point of view in my empirical research. So just like you
Yeah.
said, I'm looking at it from the thinking point
Hmm.
of view. Social career cognitive theory, how
Yeah.
they think about their career while they're in there,
Hmm.
what are the choices they make. So yes, a lot of it
Yeah.
is about resilience, showing up
Hmm.
authentically, emotional intelligence, agility. Because who wants to hire you when you become flabby? And so
Yeah.
somebody called me black
Yeah.
and they didn't like my hair. We don't have time for that. Because if you have time for that,
Yeah.
then you're not focused on the work you are hired for. And then we don't want you
Yeah.
because you're not performing. So you are kicking yourself in the foot. The people that what
Hmm.
you don't sit down when there's a fly or mosquito or whatever. You don't sit down and say, "Oh God, this fly." You just like that's what you do to discrimination, and you keep doing your work.
Yeah.
Don't join that narrative. That's what I think.
Ah, that's a controversial point, I
It
think.
is.
Controversial.
It
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
because people want to stay with that mollycoddling thing, and no, it's off-putting. It's off-putting where you're.
Mhm.
It's so off-putting. But you've come in, you've been hired, and you're a strong woman, and then somebody, oh, strength in your heart. Nobody can do that for you. Because I coach, all I can do is talk, isn't it? I can't think for you. I can only
Mm,
show you
mm,
paths. And that's what we'll do in Sister Hold My
mhm,
Hand. Dr. Michelle will be doing the kids part,
mhm.
psychology. I'll be doing the thinking part. We have other sisters. There's legal. They're all leadership. There's all kinds of stuff. But there's book publishing. But what you want to do is to take these things and go and work them. Because it will
Yeah,
work for you if you work them. It won't work
that's
for you
right.
if you just listen and do nothing about it, or just
Yeah,
whine and complain and oh they didn't
you've
do
got to
this and
move with it.
it doesn't work like that. Yeah, it doesn't work like that.
You've
So
got to move with it.
yeah, you've got to move with it. And I tell you, it's hard at the beginning. The fact that I
Hmm.
teach it does not mean I'm great at it. No, the
Yeah.
fact that I can speak like this is a gift. I didn't go to learn it. I enjoy doing it. I could talk
Hmm.
all day, as in all day. But it's not because, oh, she knows how to think. Don't ever look at me like that. Look at
Mm,
you and say, Kemi's learning too. Because there's stuff
mhm,
you would say that will help me to learn. I just
mhm.
refuse to give myself excuses. And I
Yeah,
like the euphoria of winning, of getting
yeah.
over this. And I remind myself, you're going to be excited. You're going to be excited. Come on, keep going. You're going to be excited.
And it's what you spoke about the other day, isn't it? It's that self-talk, talking to yourself, talking
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
Hmm.
You're going to be really excited. Come on. The feeling is the it's just bliss. It's complete bliss. So also I remember I wanted to stop. I said, God, I feel like a hypocrite because I am still learning this stuff. It's still a struggle. So I don't think I no. As I teach you, you teach others. You just give yourself to learning as I teach you, and that's
Hmm.
what's been happening. And I keep learning. I read something here, something, pray something, something. I just keep learning. So that's what you have to keep doing. Don't feel
Yeah.
the fear and do it anyway. Feel the courage and do it anyway. Courage is better than fear any day. Fear is debilitating. Fear wants to destroy you. Fear will make you a blubbering mess. Don't do that. Feel
Hmm.
the courage. Change narratives so that they work for you, not work against you. Just
Against
because
you.
everyone is saying it doesn't mean you should say it. You cannot stand out when you're saying what everybody's saying. Everybody's wearing a white
Hmm.
skirt and you're all in a long line, but then you put a green dot on yours. Guess who's going to be noticed?
Hmm.
Others will say, oh,
Exactly.
it's not a white skirt. No, it's the latest trend. Now, how do
Yeah.
you think trends start? Some people in Rome, I mean, like torn jeans, shredded jeans. I'll never buy it. When I see my kids wearing, I say, why did you buy a pair of jeans? And then wait till they tore it into pieces. Then you spoil and you said it's a trend. Some people thought it's a trend. And they're the ones who create, and then you're all buying in me. I'm buying whole jeans. I'm not
They're
buying,
all doing it. All everybody. Yeah.
and they're getting rich. Do your own, start your own, and get rich on it.
Start your own
Yeah,
trend.
yeah. So we hope this has served you. Dr. Michelle, do you have anything to say as we round up?
No, you've said it all.
I
Just
really
join
do.
us at Sister Hold Our Hands.
Yeah, join
Hand.
us,
Hmm.
sisterholdmyhand.com. Go there, join the membership. We have a lot of things. planned. And I want to mention this to you. Of all of us sisters, we've agreed that we're going to be authentic. We're going to be true. We're going to be real. We will be vulnerable. We're going to be called up by ourselves and say, Kemi, you didn't do that right. Oh, Michelle, you didn't do that right. Oh, Ava, you didn't do that right. That's what we are going to do with ourselves. Otherwise, we are not in a position to serve you, other women, because we're still messed up
Mhm.
and we are not being accountable with our mess. So it doesn't mean because we're accountable, we've overcome it. It means we're open and honest and ready
Mhm.
to do what it is, because we're not going to take that from you when you join us.
No. No.
So make sure you do it. Okay.
Hey,
Thank you so much. I always
thank you.
enjoy these moments with my sisters.
Uh,
Thank you for
Me
joining us
too.
here. And leave us a comment. Tell us how you think it's going. Tell us if you want us to talk about other subjects. You will have other subjects. It's not just thinking. I only have January, and Dr. Michelle starts next month, February. So look forward to that. Okay, everyone. God bless you. Thank you
A
so
hard
much.
act to
Invite
follow.
your friends to share this channel. Invite your friends and let them go on this ride with us in Sister Hold My Hand, so we'll hold your hand. Stay strong. Bye bye, everybody. Thank you, Dr. Michelle. Bye.
Pleasure.